Hi, this is Once to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and today I'm joined by Haiden Henderson.
Hello. Wow, my voice is in my brain right now.
I know, doesn't that kind of suck?
I'm getting used to it.
Some artists,
Yeah.
Some artists are like, oh, I just feel like I'm in a session, and then they start like singing, and some people are like, I'd like to not.
In sessions, I'll have an ear off because I need to hear something besides my voice through my skull. I can't handle that. When I started recording music, me and one of my good friends built a recording booth, and we bought a bunch of eggs, like crates of eggs, just so that we had like the egg crate and then like hot glued it to the ceiling. While I'm recording, they would like slowly fall down and like hit me in the head. And so we have early takes.
It's the room sound.
Yeah, it's the room. It's the ambiance. It's the egg acoustics.
Wait, really that's so fun.
Yeah, we were really DIYing it.
You got it.
I need my coffee.
Was that studio that you made in LA?
Mm-hmm. That was during the pandemic, which was like right when I started writing songs, doing anything.
That's
and
cool.
We quarantined together, and I just like slept on his floor.
Oh my god!
And we recorded music for 12 hours a day. Every day. Yeah, as much as we could.
A productive way to go through the pandemic.
Yeah, and I was in school, but it was on Zoom, so I would just leave my laptop behind me on mute during it.
Right.
You know. And have my camera off, and then would be writing or doing something else. It's
really telling what people did, like instead of paying attention on class, because we all had our cameras off, and like some people were taking a shower, some people were making their first album,
some people were maybe crocheting.
It's true.
For context, she has piles and piles of yarn that she never used because she wanted to get into crocheting or knitting or something.
I wanted to make a blanket.
I wanted to make a blanket.
You
weren't expecting me to bring that up.
No, and it's fine. I was like, I'm going to have like a self-care task. And then I couldn't.
That's so good.
But
you can't care about yourself.
Exactly.
We don't like ourselves.
We don't like ourselves. I couldn't take that time. Like even 10 minutes before bed, I couldn't do it. So I stuffed all this yarn under my bed, and now I've given it away.
That's how I feel about meditation or those things that some of my very woke acquaintances or peers do.
It's true.
I can't. They're like, it's 10 minutes a day. I'm like, you don't understand how crucial those 10 minutes are to me. I need those 10 minutes.
Yeah, and those 10 minutes I'll spend scrolling on TikTok.
Yes, 100%. I'm going to burn through that time, but I need that time.
But I needed that.
I can't respond to the 200 text messages I have on my phone either.
There's this one like fake news header that says, woman can't respond to texts on phone that she spends 10 hours a day staring at. I think I put it in a photo dump at some point. It was really good.
That's fire. I had to explain to my mom because she doesn't understand why I don't text back consistently. Mm-hmm. And it is a new like plague of Gen Z kids, is the idea that you are on this thing all the time, but you're not there to talk to people or to like check things off. Like for the 10 seconds that it takes to text, somebody back, unless there's somebody that you are going to see that day and you feel an obligation to.
Literally.
Like with that 10 seconds, I feel like that is the 10 seconds that will like break my psyche for some reason at all times.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but I genuinely have a disgusting number of unread texts right now.
So do I. And the best part is I read them and then I swipe out and then I turn the little blue dot back on.
I don't even do that. I will read them and I'll be like, I'll remember. Don't remember.
You won't.
I never remember.
But I'll be like, I'll remember if the blue dot is on. And then I just like, it haunts me. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like.
I respond in my head too. I'll read the notification and then I'll respond. And I'll actually think of like a funny response, a witty one. Right. And I'll be like, and then I won't respond.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. But I'll read the notification and I just never respond. And I swear I responded. And they're like, hello. Didn't happen.
No, and then you run into them in public and you have to be like, saw your text, by the way. Didn't respond.
Well, no, I was going to, sometimes I'm like, you never texted me back though. And they're like, you never texted me back. I was like, I swear to God I did. I promise.
That's classic LA.
Yeah, I think I'm schizophrenic.
And that's okay. How long have you been in LA? Did you grow up around here?
No, I grew up in, am I allowed to curse on here?
Yes.
Thank fuck. God. I grew up in the shitty areas of California, like Stockton, Bakersfield, Fresno, a lot of the little towns surrounding there. And the place I primarily grew up in is famous for having the largest women's prison on like the West Coast or the West side of the United States or something.
Awesome.
Man written by woman. That's
man
me for sure.
Written by women from the women's prison.
From the women's prison.
That was her novel that she wrote.
Wait, that's so good.
Yeah.
I should put that on a t-shirt.
You should.
It's so niche. I can't do it. But yeah, I grew up there, and then when we like had enough money to slowly trickle our way down to Southern California, the rest of our family followed. But it was me, my mom, and my little brother.
Nice.
And then we moved to a little town called Ojai, which is close to LA, about an hour and a half or so away, which is this tiny little granola paradise, with massive culture shock to where I was at. Moved there right before high school.
Sweet. Yeah. And then when did you move down to LA for college?
That was the question.
That's okay.
Right. Yeah, I moved to LA for college, in my second year of college. I lived in my car for my first year. No way. And then moved to LA in my sophomore year and went to USC.
Oh, you lived in your car for the first year?
In the back of my truck, yeah.
Oh my God.
And went to community college for the first year.
Yeah. Dude, you did it.
I did it. That's crazy. It was a good time. It was good. It was pretty self-inflicted. I feel like I couldn't afford like to get an apartment, but I didn't really, I was interested in seeing what that would be like, you know?
Yeah.
Like really isolating myself. I'm a very self-challenging person. If I feel like I need something, I try to deprive myself of it to prove that I can.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. The coffee is maybe the only one that I don't, but if I feel like I need caffeine like desperately or something, I'm like, I'm going to take 2 weeks off and just see if I can do it.
Honestly, I feel like that sounds kind of healthy, and like
maybe
like you went so far into the unhealthy that it came back around to healthy.
Yeah. That's what I tell myself as I'm muscling through it. I'm like, it's for you. It's good for you. It's good for you.
I mean, to get off the caffeine addiction, I'm still trying. I've been trying to get off caffeine for years.
We'll be trying till we die. But if you can limit it, like one cup a day. No, I can't.
I won't. Sick. Well, thank you so much for being on our little taste-making podcast.
Of course. I love that was the intro.
Yeah, I just try to like get you chatting for a few minutes.
I will chat. I'm a yapper.
Good. That's what we like. Well, I would love to know, if listeners had never heard your music before, what is the first song you would serve up to them? The first bite of Haiden Henderson?
I think it would probably be Hell of a Good Time.
Okay.
I think that the first single off of this new EP.
Yeah.
Her lips are full of sugar. She'll kiss you, then she'll kill you, beware. She's calling me at 3 a.m. Suddenly I'm out of bed. I'm driving as fast as I can. She's pushing me over the...
I think it sets the tone for not only this EP necessarily, but I think what I want to do going forward. It's kind of like me doing the poppy thing that I love so much with the rocky thing that I love so much all in one song.
Yeah.
And now my goal is with this EP a little bit, but even after the EP and in general is like do all of it at once as often as I can. So I'm either really poppy or I'm like more alternative and indie, and it's two sides of my brain that I'm constantly trying to put together.
Yeah, you're not sacrificing anything.
Yeah, and you can see when I go one way or another. Like my first EP was pretty poppy, and then my second EP was much more like sultry and indie, and my influences were more alternative.
Right.
And it's because I went a little too poppy on that one, and then I was like, oh, that's not fully me, and then I went back to the alternative. I was like, that's not fully me either. I really love Britney Spears, and now this EP is. I think kind of going back into the poppy lane, and I'm constantly swerving between those lanes.
Yeah, I feel like you have a lot of both sides of it, like on every song though.
Yeah. No matter what, the songs have to be catchy. I feel like I have to gift wrap what I'm saying in order for it to be listenable.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And even as a person, if I'm like communicating about my feelings or something, like it needs to be in this kind of anecdotal little phrase, or it has to have a punchline, or
you're like, what's the hook for my conversation right now?
Seriously, it's disturbing.
No, but it works.
And on stage too, I think my shows oftentimes, especially my own shows, are like stand-up shows. I'm like bantering with the audience and turning things into punchlines, or it's fun to like interact in that way.
Yeah, I noticed we just saw you, Giselle and I, on Sunday. That's how this whole thing happened.
It is,
at our little Landon Barker and Friends show. And you like asked someone in the crowd a question, like at a stand-up show.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, we're interacting.
Yeah. I mean, I love all of the friends and Landon and all of them, and I felt like what I do differently is I just try to like interact with and like go into the audience. If there weren't barricades, I would be in the middle of the audience during the first song, and especially in an LA room, which is notoriously stiff. People are very cool and they all know how to sing and they all think they can do what you're doing. Doing little things to like snap them out of their, bring them into their bodies in a way is really fun. So I go into the crowd for the first song, or I'll ask questions. If people have signs, I'll read them off and interact with them. That's my favorite thing as a fan. It's when like Harry Styles reads a sign back at me. I'm like, oh, that shit's so fucking sick.
I was gonna ask about the influences. Like, were you a Directioner?
I was like a closeted pop girly, I feel, growing up, because I'm a boy and and felt like I couldn't like early Biebs and early Five Sauce and One Direction and like the real like candy coated pop. I just loved, there was something almost like psychological about how pop melodies would take over my brain, and
because they're built to do that.
Yeah,
it's like it shouldn't just be for girls. It's literally made for everybody.
Yeah, and I love when I grew up. There would be melodies that I know I've heard before but couldn't place when, where, or who wrote it or something, and like that was so the chemistry of that in my brain was so fascinating to me, and I think that's why I'm obsessed with pop music now. Is like when a melody, no matter what language you speak or what kind of day you had, like if it unifies a group of people, that's just so cool to me. Like that's so interestingly human.
Totally. You know? Hell of a Good Time definitely has that. I noticed how the chorus is like, it's very poppy, and then you have that little tagline at the end that like gets into the rock like vocal performance, but it's still like the pop melody writing. Right. It's a very cool like overlap.
The whole melody on that song is like the candy coated Britney toxic kind of vibe. Yeah. And then like the drums and everything underneath it are kind of the rock backbone to it.
Totally.
And I like that. It feels like the vocal is kind of dancing on top of this gravelly road or something.
Yeah, you still have the grit. Yeah, there's the vocal is like the earworm.
I love that song, and I love that something clicked in my head. Like I feel like I figured out more of who I was when we were writing that, and it was the first song maybe that I've written ever where it kind of just fell into our lap. Like the first thing that we did for an hour straight was everything that ended up on the song. The first riff we played was the riff. The first melody we sang was the melody. The first lyrics were the lyrics. It was very, very quick.
You didn't really have to like fight for it to feel right.
Yeah, and I'm usually a fighter. Like I fight for my songs typically.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you usually work with collaborators, or is it just like you and a producer?
Up until this year, I was writing everything in my bedroom on an acoustic guitar, and then I would bring it to one of my friends, and we would produce it and record it together. And when I was putting things on the internet or showing songs pre-release, it was always just an acoustic performance of it. And then and then it would like go viral, and I wouldn't have the rest of it written, and let alone like recorded and produced. So I would freak out and go try to rush and record it. And it was always, I was releasing from a defensive position. Like I was never able to kind of figure out what I wanted to do, which is so sick. Like the best problem you could possibly have.
Absolutely.
And then this year I started collaborating and working with people that I've tried collaborating in the past, and it always went bad because I think I was bad at collaborating.
You have to like open yourself up to it.
I was not open at all. I would bring something in, we would write a song, and then I would take it home and rewrite the whole thing. Because it's just like, this isn't what I wanted to say.
Yeah, totally.
And I recently found people that make it better, make the music better. And so I just work with them. It's a very small group of people.
That's awesome. Yeah. And did you work with like specific people on the Loverboy EP? That's just
that's just that same small group of
sweet.
There's Lauren Christie, who's a songwriter and was at the show that we were at. Cool. And we wrote almost every song together. Wait, my phone's ringing. Hold on.
That's okay.
It's my A&R. He can suck it right now. Fuck the A&R. I'm an indie musician right now.
We need him.
We do need him. Please give me money. But I wrote it with Lauren, and she's like one of those people from the early 2000s that wrote all of the melodies that I grew up listening to and didn't know. And then when I met her, I was like, you're responsible for all of these things in my head. Like
wow.
she did Complicated by Avril Lavigne and Skater Boy Avril Lavigne and I'm With You Avril Lavigne and all those and a lot of Dua Lipa's big songs and Me, Myself and I, G-Eazy and like Jason Mraz's biggest songs. All these like iconic, very melodic 2000s hits where she was, you know, in the room for and writing and she's a total beast. So it's her on this EP with me, a producer named Joe Pepe, who we started a lot of the songs with and then brought them to Midi Jones, who's another fantastic producer. So it's like the four of us, and then I'll bring like my friends in and write every once in a while, like Sam Shore, who I was telling you about. Is a good friend, great songwriter, great artist, all on her own, but would bring her in because writing with friends is fun.
Yeah. That is like a truly different bond. Like,
totally.
I don't know, having friends that you're not like embarrassed to show like your like pop love songs.
Sam and I are brutally honest. I love hard truth friends too. Like when you're not, even in daily life, but in general, like when you're not convinced by something, when a friend says something like, yeah, I'm good, you know, it's fine. And they're just like, bitch, shut up. No, you're not. Like that in a songwriting capacity is so helpful. And in real life.
Absolutely. You know, you need someone to like cut down all of the ideas you're sending out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I would love to know off of the Loverboy EP, what is like the entree to your music right now? What era are you in?
I'm in.
What's a song that would represent that era?
I think I would throw Hell of a Good Time back in as an entree because I think it sums everything up really well. So I think it happens to be the doorway as well as at least a room in the house.
Wow.
And then
okay
casual
flex.
And then there's a song on there, One Before the One, and that's another melody that kind of took over my brain for a little bit.
Am I the one before the one before the one before the one? Am I the trial run, the runner-up? 'Cause damn, I feel like a crash test dummy when you want me test drive.
There's like a post-chorus on there that really invaded my space for a bit, and like I would go shopping for groceries or something and I would forget half the things on my list because this one melody was just like looping in my head. And so that one is really good, and then also Bleachers is part of the entree as well.
But I promise you that one day I'll be the one that got away. You'll hear me when this song plays. So long, see you in the bleachers. My song blowing out the speakers. You left, but I won't be the one to break.
I was gonna mention, Bleachers is a great song.
It's a very fun I've been trying to write songs for live spaces because playing live is like my favorite thing out of all of this to do, and I think it's the only time that I'm not overthinking because you're on the spot, like you're on stage, you are very forced to be present because there are eyes on you, and I tend to chronically think about everything throughout the rest of the process. So to have this one little dose of purity in the live thing is really fun, and I just get to be on the spot, and it's high stakes, but it's fun. And Bleachers is the perfect live song.
I was going to ask, like, what does that look like for you? Like making a song that's fit for a live performance. Is that like just a different energy? How is the writing different?
I think it's, well, in Bleachers, it's really clear because I say, and the crowd will go, na, 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 na.
Right.
And so while I was writing, I was like, this would be so fun to have the crowd do, you know? It kind of just comes back to whether or not people can sing it back to you immediately. It's like, how quickly can somebody learn this and sing it back to you? If they learn the post-chorus the first time you sing it and they can sing it the second time you sing it, then that's a great live song, you know? And a lot of my songs try to do, are always like catchy enough to do it, but some are a little bit more like kind of crazy
complex,
or a little more complex, and nothing is simpler than na 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 na. It's like a lullaby. It feels like na na boo boo na na boo boo, that kind of vibe, you know.
No words to learn.
No words. It's just a vibe. I mean, who we're all a fan of right now, our favorite artist, Chapel's music is like the perfect live music, and she says that in interviews. She's like, the songs were meant to be played live because they're fun, you know?
Yeah.
And that's all of her stuff. It's just fun as fuck to sing live.
It is. And you know what's funny is like we were about to do our little short form content with you and I was like, Giselle, we should make him do the hot to go dance. And she was like, no, don't do that. Giselle's the biggest Chapel Roan fan ever. I don't know if you know this.
Well, on stage I said...
I know, and then I go, we should have asked him to do the hot to go.
Yeah. On stage at the show, I made a Chapel joke and immediately people started singing. I was like, no, shut up. Like even without her being, yeah.
No, she is the queen. So cool. I saw she like put some behind the scenes video though about being like, I wanted to write a song where people could dance to.
Yeah, totally.
And it's funny because like, I don't know, me being like a dumb listener, I'm just like, oh wow, Hot to Go is a great song to dance to. Well, yeah, she did that on purpose.
100%. Yeah, I think that was because I've written things acoustically so much, putting them into a recording always changes the way that they feel in my head.
Totally.
And so now that I'm writing while the music is being built at the same time, I can make songs that make you want to jump or dance, or like you can say what you want them to feel and then make that feeling instantaneously, as opposed to having those two things be separated.
Yeah.
And so Hell of a Good Time, I went in being like, what's like the opening song in the set that sets the tone for the rest of the night? And I wanted to make you move. And the very first thing was, as soon as you hear the drums, you're like, oh, like it's kind of takes over your body a little bit. And that immediacy is really cool. And all of the stuff, especially after this EP, is tapping and continuing to tap into that. I just want to like do that over and over and over again because it's such a fun feeling.
Yeah, just to like get people moving immediately.
Yeah. And Hell of a Good Time was like the last song we wrote for this EP. And so in a world where it was in a world where if we had written that earlier, the other songs maybe would have influenced that more and all of that. And so we wrote the rest of these songs around me being happy in my love life for the first time.
Sweet.
And then Hell of a Good Time was like, I want this like raunchy song about that initial chemistry you get with a person and like how much of a simp I can become towards a person just like on a first interaction. I just like fall in love with a person so quick. And so that song came out as like the hot and steamy kind of track on the whole EP.
You really do get the full spectrum on this EP.
Yeah, 100%. There's the very sweet lover boy, and then there's like the hot and sweaty lover boy in both ways, you know.
And then there's one before the one where you do go into your like self-deprecating for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, when we were just figuring out the songs to put on the project, I knew I've always been affected by love in some way. Like my last EP is called Choke on My Heart. And I feel like going from Choke on My Heart to Lover Boy was a very, very indicative transition.
Totally.
And for the whole spectrum of songs, One Before the One is kind of like, I can still be a lover boy and be affected negatively by love. I'm just like consumed by it in all different types of ways. Bleachers is like, is kind of this like dorky diss track, but it's still about love. It's like, I'm going to get back at you with success. I hope that one day I'll be the one that got away, you know?
Yeah, it should be in a rom-com. Like it was made for it.
Half the songs on this EP should be in a rom-com.
Yeah, someone called Netflix.
Yeah.
Jukebox musical.
Jukebox music. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Haiden Henderson jukebox
I will
musical.
get $500 to be on like a what is Too Hot to Handle.
Oh my god, or like Love Island.
Yeah, Love Island. Yeah, I've only actually seen one episode, or not one episode, one season of Love Island, season 16.
Is that
it's specifically the season? I literally looked up. I was like, if I'm going to watch one season of Love Island, what is it? It was season 16.
Yeah,
of the British one specifically.
Okay,
the only one worth watching.
Well, yes,
that's what Cora told me on the internet. Cora was like, season 16 is good.
I love that. I did that with Survivor. I was like, I don't know where to start. Tell me where.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like you would watch Survivor.
One of my friends is obsessed with Survivor. I've seen a few episodes, but my favorite character in the first 2 episodes was eliminated by the third, and I stopped. It was the same with like Grey's Anatomy. I watched in middle school, and I stopped
eliminated from Grey's Anatomy,
dude. And I stopped watching when McDreamy got hit by a car. I was like, "Fuck this, dude! I'm not watching if McDreamy's not here." You know. And same with Vampire Diaries when Elena went to sleep. I stopped watching. I'm like, I don't care anymore. Kill the best character. I'm leaving. That's how it works.
I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. And so I stopped watching.
All of those shows, that just showed me so much about your character. It was very important.
It's giving lover boy for sure.
It is.
It was in middle school. I didn't know how to talk to girls, and my mom was like, just find something to relate to them on. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch the things that they watch. So I watched Gossip Girl and Vampire Diaries and Grey's Anatomy, and I still couldn't. It didn't help me talk to girls at all. But I fell in love with all of those shows, and they're really good. Yeah, they're very good.
That's so indicative.
It's so indicative. I was doing anything for attention.
No, I love it, as you should. Well, I'd love to know for our little dessert track, what's like a cherry on top song? Maybe one from earlier in your discography or off the EP. Just one that you feel like deserves a little bit more love.
I think if you're in a sad mood, I think Killed the Kid is a dessert track. It is like a deep cut. And fans at shows really, really love that song. So I don't necessarily think it's like criminally slept on or anything.
Yeah.
But I think that song in particular, I will sing in 30 years and relate to every word of just as much as I do now.
I don't want you to die, but it kills me keeping you alive. You fall so hard, then wonder why you bleed. But don't you ever change. I'll say to him as I dig his grave, someday someone will love you like you need.
And when I was writing it, it felt like a song I could have heard in any generation. That song could have been in the 90s, written by some singer-songwriter. Cool. It could have been like Death Cab for Cutie, I will follow you into the dark. Like it feels like my interpretation of a timeless Haiden Henderson song. Is
it timeless in like the sonic quality of it, or just
everything?
Like, okay, everything.
Yeah. I wrote it alone on a guitar. It was like the only song I've ever written while I was like actively sobbing. And when we were recording it, I was like, I just want to preserve that feeling of it. Like, let's not complicate it. Keep it very small. Keep it sparse, and just make it about the performance and the lyrics and stuff. So I love that song. And then if you're in a lovey-dovey mood, I think on the new project there's a song called Good Side, which I played at the show and dedicated to a girl in the crowd. That song is another one that I think I can sing back in 20 years, but it's a love song. Sing back in 20 years and still relate to every word of.
That's really hard to do with a love song because they're so specific.
So difficult.
But
Good Side's the first love song I ever wrote. It was the first one I wrote for this project, and I was like, something's changed.
Something's changed.
I'm happy. Oh no, I'm so happy. And that song is a very me love song to write, which is like, the song is basically saying like, I know I'm not perfect, but I found someone that thinks I am.
Right.
And so the song is like, even through all of my flaws, you see me from my good side, even when I don't, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I will always be self-deprecating enough, circling back to our self-hatred.
Yeah, it's true.
To relate to that. And hopefully I will always have somebody in my life that can see the best in me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, Lover Boy.
Okay, that's exactly what I named the EP because my friend said, okay, Lover Boy. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll take that. It's me and then Drake, Certified Lover Boy, and then just me. Not certified. Just Lover Boy.
Soon, though.
Maybe certified.
I have to bring up the mismatched shoes. You already told me this story, but I want to document it again. Because now I'm seeing you in different mismatched shoes.
Yeah, well, these ones were not initially mismatched, and then
really?
I had to paint. I painted one of them. No, really? Shut up. I had to paint one so that I could wear them because I'm very committed to this bit. But I started mismatching my shoes in school because I didn't know how to start conversations. This is a theme for me. I didn't know how to start conversations and was trying to peacock in some way as an icebreaker, and it worked so well. I didn't have to start a single conversation for like 3 years in school because people would ask me, what did I buy my shoes like that? Why are they like that? What drugs are you taking? Like just a plethora of different questions. And I would make up a different answer for every time someone asked me, just as a way to start a conversation. And I stopped doing it when I started making music because I was like, I need to be cool and I need to like not try, or
normal.
I need to be so normal because everybody loves normal.
Right.
And then when I started releasing this EP, like at the start of Hell of a Good Time, I was like, I found the shoes again that I initially did that with. And I was like, I feel like I should do this because I did it out of weakness and insecurity before. And now I can maybe own it out of a confidence and turn it into like a little uniform.
I mean, I feel like when you're feeling that isolated and like lonely, it's a very brave thing to like go the opposite direction and put yourself out there. Like whenever totally. I felt that way, I just like hide.
Yeah.
I'm like, no one look at me.
I was acne ridden and very tall and super skinny and it felt like I was trying to hide in as many ways as possible. And eventually my mom was like, you are not even a human anymore. You are just a pure reflection of your friends. You should consider trying to be a person. I was like, okay, fine.
Your mom sounds awesome.
She's a gangster. She's so cool.
That's so great.
She recently bought a Cybertruck just because she thinks it's funny.
For the meme.
Which is and she's like this tiny little lady driving this massive like Batmobile looking car. It's so stupid looking.
I love that for her.
I love it for her too. I think it's so funny. But yeah, I started mismatching the shoes, and at the show, like a bunch of fans came with their mismatched shoes, and it's kind of turning into a little uniform for the fandom, the haters as they call themselves.
Is that the haters?
The haters, yeah.
But like HAIDERS,
yeah.
Wow, double meaning.
Double meaning, yeah.
That's cool though that it was like something you sort of abandoned as an attempt to like be cool.
To blend in again.
But now that's the thing that the fans are latching on to.
Hopefully, yeah. I've always liked artists that have like a little gimmick for some reason.
Totally.
And as a straight white passing guy in pop music, I need as many quirks as I can get to stand out.
Right on.
So the mismatched shoes will do it for now.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of closing questions for you.
Hit me with it.
I've already asked you this one, but I have to ask you again.
I'll pretend you didn't.
Yeah. So I'd love to know if your music was a candle, what scent would it be? Maybe you can give me some of like the notes of it this time, because you gave me like a candle title.
Yeah, I gave you a title. Oh, so you wanted...
I want like, what does it smell like?
Oh, interesting.
You said it would be called Hopeless Romantic.
Yeah, and I think, okay, so let's build off of that. What does a candle called Hopeless Romantic smell like? To me, it's a little bit smoky, and it has notes of rose. It's almost, I imagine like if you lit a rose on fire, what would that smell like? Or if you made a campfire out of a bed of roses, what would that smell like?
Yeah.
And I would have a smokiness, a rosiness to it, and maybe just hints of vanilla, because who doesn't love that?
Yeah.
I think it would be like that. I love a simple but very like potent scent, as opposed to a very, very complex. Every time you smell it, you find something different. I like something very simple and
it is what
brings
it is.
Me to a place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a smoky, rosy with hints of vanilla.
I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe.
Maybe.
A perfume coming soon. Thinking about it.
I'm down. I would also love to know what your favorite sound is right now that is not music.
Oh, I heard this interview between Billie Eilish and this one, and this actor that I love. And he said his favorite sound was when a dog goes, and I fucking fully relate to that. When a dog goes,
there's so much emotion there.
There's so much emotion. They're so relaxed. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Yeah. I love that. I also love when cats purr, because I love winning people over. And when a cat purrs, that's music to my ears, because they're having the best time possible.
Oh, beautiful.
I just want to deliver. And when a cat purrs, I know that I'm doing something right.
I'm moving into a new apartment, and they have a cat, and it's one of those like cats with a lot of fur, but it has its summer cut right now, so it's like shaved down except for its head.
Summer cut. Someone like cut
the cat's hair. Yeah. And it has just like a little tuft at the end. I don't think so. I don't know.
think so either.
He might be just like hot
but that's
with all
hilarious.
that fur.
Yeah.
But he like totally latched on to me. Yeah, he told them that.
He was like, guys, I'm dying under here, please. Like, fuck. Please shave everything except from the end of my tail. Please.
Please, I need to look
I need a new look
for the summer. Buff for the summer.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
No, he latched on to me, and I was like, wow, I'm good now.
Yeah. Like, a hairless cat is something that I like. The contrarian in me wants a hairless cat, because they're so weird looking.
They're very divisive, yeah.
Yeah, but don't you have to like slather them in lotion and shit? Because they'll die from dryness.
I think
which I relate to. Like I'm an Aquaphor whore. Like I am slapping this shit on all the time.
An aqua whore.
An aqua whore, yeah, exactly.
I think you might have to put like sunscreen on them too if you bring them outside.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. I hate sunscreen.
We all are kind of like hairless cats, so I mean, isn't that just like life?
Wow.
Anyway.
We should end it right there.
That's
it. Thanks, everybody.
My very final question for you is, who are your ones to watch? Who are you listening to that I should be listening to? Okay, I'm going to list different ones than I did last time. I'm listening to Måneskin right now. Yeah.
A lot of Måneskin. I'm also listening to... Oh, fuck. I was literally Måneskin is playing right now. No way. That's so funny.
He's nothing if not honest.
So true. Man written by woman. Everybody.
By woman in prison.
in prison. Okay. I've been listening to Måneskin. I've been listening to The Struts.
Love.
The Struts are really cool. And Lauren has worked with them a lot. Like some of my favorite songs by them, Lauren was a part of. And who else? One other. I'm gonna do like a niche one. A real niche
underground one.
I've been listening to Maud Latour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we love Maud Latour.
I love her so much.
Dude, Too Slow. Are you kidding?
Calm Down. Have you heard that one?
Calm Down is unbelievable.
I have the full album and I've been listening.
I was gonna say the new stuff.
Oh, you have the new album?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
unbeatable.
a fan. I think she's in my neighborhood. I'm sure I've seen her.
I love that your neighborhood's stacked like that.
It's like the most. I feel basic about it, but I like feeling like I'm part of something.
Yeah.
In college, this is the fun fact that always gets talked about around me by like the fans and stuff. In college, I studied aerospace engineering, and so I had no sense of community in that. And now, because everybody's like drowning and is studying for their next exam or is like doing something, there's no community, no camaraderie. And now that I have like a little community and I walk to the same coffee shop every morning and they know my order, they order it as they see me walking through the door and they just make it for me and I pay after. Like that sense of belonging is really, really key to me right now. It's it feels dangerously good because sometimes I feel like I don't work as hard if I'm like perfectly satisfied with my life.
Right.
Which is a dangerous thought. Don't think that way, please. But yeah, I've been dangerously happy with my little community that I have right now.
It sounds like you have like a home. That's really nice.
Do we both just ick at the same time? Oh, that's rough.
No, I'm striving for that. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice to hear that.
Come on over to the east side.
Hell, I am actually. I'm moving to the Silver Lake, to the Silver Lake.
To the Silver Lake. Oh my gosh, that's great. I was at the Landon show or at the after party. I was hanging out with Tara Yummy and she asked me where I lived, and as soon as I said where, she was like, a red flag, God. And I was like, what? No
That's
way.
where all the cool kids are.
I don't have a mustache, though, or a mullet. I'm not wearing Carhartt right now. Yeah. I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah, like you have other boxes checked, but those ones you got clear.
But she's an LA native, so I feel like that's why.
Yeah.
And I do trust that point of view.
Yeah.
You know, she's a Valley girl through and through.
Yeah, you got to trust Tara.
You got to trust Tara.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, she's going to feel so weird that I mentioned her.
Because she's an avid listener of this podcast.
She's an avid listener, actually. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Very, very happy to be here. Yeah. And thank you for the coffee. And
the coffee that I personally made.
Yeah. You look out on once2watch.com. We will be selling Hopeless Romantic, the candle, with notes of vanilla, rose, and fire.
Right on. Once again, this is Once to Watch Chef's Choice. I'm Abby Kenna, and this is Haiden Henderson.
Goodbye.
Listen to the Loverboy EP.
Out now.
Out now.
Okay, bye.